welcome back to another episode where today this is the second series of this month, Bubble. Specifically with what goes into making the CAD for those in ICRP that are kind of interested in knowing what I actually do to make features. I do have to be very careful what I show in this series though for secure reasons. So we're going to be showing the CMS for the most part with a few things left without explanation. That in itself, you might say, is a little insane, but you gotta bear in mind it's in use. So having to censor some stuff out, I can give examples, APIs, the webhooks for the Discord, for example, how the login process works. Those kind of things are gonna be removed from existing in these videos, but there'll be enough in here that you, if you're making something on Bubble where you're wanting to build a menu or anything like that, it should be a viable product to look at this and go, hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z, and then take what I'm showing you and do X, Y, and Z. As well as that, if you're not making a CMS, community management panel, or anything that involves managing people, you may just learn a few things about making stuff in an easier way, or even just learn something you didn't realize. So with further ado, let's begin. Now, you can see on the left of the screen right here, I already did a bit of design for this. I did the department selector. I'm not going to go into that yet. This specifically was me trying to find the design I wanted for the menu buttons, because I wanted it to have the icon, and I also wanted to have text and be in a group. So I managed to get all three of those in the specification of 250 by 50, and then to fit the minimum amount of text, maximum amount of text expected, with a measuring length of specific lengths to use. Why I used that as a measuring point, I really don't know, but it was longer than most of the stuff we're going to put in there. So ideally, that is where the money's at. Let's actually begin though. So what's going to happen, right? People are going to load the CMS up and they're going to go into the department selector, which won't show much because it's repeating groups, as you can see here. Click their department and get brought to this page. When they get brought here, ideally, we can then, how do I make it sound less technical? Have it show that department's page to them and display the options they can do, which is very easy to do. And then also integrate a lot of external data that needs dragging in to make it functional, and in the near future probably integrate the server itself, controlling the actual server, night, day, weather, restart, stop, start, those kind of things. Those are the pain in the back kind of things to do, but I have a feeling we can manage that. But with that said, let's actually get into this a little. So to do what I want to do normally on Bubble, I would tell the main group, this page here, hey, I just want to make you a type of content known as a department. So we'd go in here, department, and we were already running into the issue, because this is going to put the unique ideas to department, and so help me God if that ever becomes the URL, it definitely ain't. So there is other ways of doing it, and the other way of doing it's a lot more easier. Assuming you're a bit crazy, we simply make a big group, and what we're going to want to do, so group, and we drag it all through the page and call it page and put the data on it, because we can do data sources here, see? Now, I don't want to sound like Captain Obvious, but that is not ideal. Another alternative option was to actually have it inside of the element inspector. As you can see there's an option there for it. Only problem is some input sources do not take custom states as data input, and some of them really don't like it. They're like, oh, could you define what on the list you want? When clearly this button here, the list button, isn't ticked. If I tick that, I run into an error because I'm only giving it one item. So, you know, there's that many issues. I really hate it right now. There you go. So what we're going to do, we're going to stick with the idea we have here. That's 150. And we're going to call this page. And it's just going to be the page. And what this can also allow us to do is hide this page or this group more specifically when the user hasn't gone into a department. So when you have that 5 seconds of loading, that glimpse into what you're going to see, I give a demonstration. It's going to ask for a password, isn't it? 1 second. There you go. See this? You see it before that. If I now refresh it, see that there? You can see the page. What we could do is simply tell it not visible, right? Boom. Refresh. And it's still visible. Oh, you're not in the group yet. Hang on. So that's the back. You drag drop. Now it won't be visible. I'm a wallaby for that. So now if I do that, we should be able to see that regardless. It shouldn't have a load. And oh jeez. Beauty bubble. So it's kind of catching it. I don't think we'll see it, obviously. Yeah, that is a benefit. Just hides data in case it decides to show something when the person shouldn't be able to see anything. Even a glimpse of something they shouldn't see is something that's an issue. And that's something I have to bear in mind. Because with this kind of stuff, you have to be compliant. You have to make sure your data is secure. And in some cases, this is going to be displaying very sensitive data. It has to be secure. So let's actually get to building the menu now. I feel like I'm going to do a bit of a time lapse this, but because I've already got the specification for the menu. So let's have a bit of fun. Let's do a time lapse. So for this montage, guys, we're going to be just doing a bit of simple stuff. So what we're doing here right now is we're designing the key button, as I already stated, just doing a bit of editing to it, making it a bit more gray. And I kind of spent a good few minutes on that. And then we're just designing the layout, choosing the icons, and laying it out in the way that was already pre-chosen by myself and Matt when we looked at how we wanted to do this. Following that, after what actually was about 28 minutes, we kind of lay out this idea of how it's going to look, add all the functions into it. And as you can see, I'm kind of choosing the icons. It's not easy to choose icons for these things, and I'm sure over time they'll change. But now those are the icons we chose. Now you can see I'm just going to add in here a title, which I call a heading bar. I move it down a bit, so I've got space to add one for the top. That in itself became a bit of an annoying process, but here again. And then I'm just choosing how the text is going to display, editing that a little bit, and then putting that in effect. And then we're going to the top of the screen, we're adding the logo, we're adding some text, which is going to be the short text for the department, checking it actually works, adding all the functions so it functions the right way. And as we added all these functions into the system, we then can go up here, like I said, and add the short name for the department, which is very simple. The page name is short. I also added a button for the selector. It's a temporary button, but in this case, I've added it purely so that we can have a way for people to get around for now until I find a better way of doing it, because I already hate that function there. I think it needs to go somewhere else, really, but I'll work it out over time. And then we start doing the organization and pre-planning for all the functions. This, you will tell, takes a bit of time, and this is why I take time doing. As you can see, all of them have been grouped together, all added, and all are ready for the next bit. So, after having built our ever so fun and definitely easy menu in the time lapse, we're now going to build our very first page, our only page for today's episode, which is the dashboard. Now, the dashboard's a little complicated, but I'm going to kind of break it down into sections that are easy to understand. First with how you get there. So, obviously the button here, dashboard, needs to be the one we press. Let's open that. And we want to navigate down to a go-to page. Once here, you want to select your ever so fun destination. Like so. I have just had to blank that out because, yeah. And then what you also want to do is get your arbitrary text. I'm going to turn on my DPI because it feels way too quick. And the reason for this is we're going to have a multi-segmented URL. And what that basically looks like, as I'll show you in a second, is CMS, comma, and then department name, comma, dashboard. And that's going to really matter in a minute when we get to that. But anyway, so what we want to do is go in here and have it be something as simple as department, short name, lowercase, just not with space, just forward slash, and then no space, dashboard. Okay, there's your URL add-on. Okay. So then we go in here, what we're going to do, this is our dashboard page. I know it's very cool, very high tech, very built already. And all we're going to do with this is essentially say condition, add, new, and then we're going to get, in fact, no. Let me show you what it looks like. I put in this text box here, right? And I simply say, get the data from the URL and put it into a path segments as list. Okay. I just load in, you can see it there actually. So if we were to, well, I've already messed it up. We'd select a department, hit this, you see what it's changing this here. In theory, if I was to go up here and add a 1 to that and go to that, if it would let me. Yeah, no, it won't. Yeah, that's not bad though, not complaining. So yeah, we got to get data from that, but it's kind of like a CVS, for those that know, CSV, sorry, comma separate value. It literally is in a sense. So the first one's its own value, second one's its own value, and so on and so forth. So if I was to say contains department names lowercase forward slash dashboard, it wouldn't work. If I was to say last item contains dashboard, that is a fairly easy loophole in this, and it's the loophole I'm going to go with. So there you go. So we're going to go in here. We're going to say it contains a URL. So we're going to type in URL, get data, path segment as list, last item is, and then just say dashboard. If true, visible. If not true, not visible. And that should actually work nice and easy. Let's find out. Let's go with any one of them. And it works. Let's try another. Yep, it works. So there you go. So we've got our dashboard now. So let's actually start building our dashboard a little bit, shall we? So I believe, purely based on the fact that the dashboard that's in the demonstration is actually somewhat simple. It's going to have the announcements page and then management team page, which will allow the HOD to display their management team as they so wish. So what I'm going to do that's different from that, I feel like I might make it so it's the top 5 people on the roster, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to do it a different way. So we're going to add text. We're going to have it be announcements. Okay, we'll have an announcements tab here at this level. I'll just make it as wide as the actual thing need be. There we go. Copy, paste to go up here. There we go. Got a nice gap in between of them. And then up here, it's going to say dashboard, obviously. Look, dashboard. Love how I'm formatting this. Yeah, I've not even done the page. Let's say keep it white. Let's give it a curve of say 3. Have it have a outset, just a small one. Make it stand out. Make it an equal on all sides outset. Stands out all around, yep. And then as for these, have them indent by 10 by 10 and 10 by 10. For you, I'm going to make you a 6, so you're semi. And for you, I'm going to make you a 7. Okay. And then all I'm going to do for now is, in fact, just have announcements. I'm going to get with the HODs tomorrow anyway, and I will ask them how do they want their dashboard laying out, what would they like on it. And that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it based off request, I guess. So we'll have an announcement box here, and shrink height if text gets shorter, I'm going to enable. And it's going to need to call on the data. So page, this is just calling data from the previous option set. And inside of this, apparently my phone has low battery. Thanks for telling me, Windows. Oh yeah, they don't have a field for this yet. Oops. Add department. I'll go in and format that later. Page department. Boom. I've done that wrong. Oh, gee. Give me a second. Having just deleted that. Let's go in here. Put the correct one in. There we go. That gives them that. And for sake of testing, we're going to just go in here real quick. And we're going to have a look at it. Okay, then. Right. And, I think that's fine. I'm not too worried about having this kind of just dead space. If it's dead space, it's dead space. What I might do though up here is just make this stand out a bit more. Yeah, see how that looks. And that is our very first page on here. So you can go in your department, you can view a dashboard, and bingo. I'm going to demonstrate how this would actually look if you give me a second. So I've set up a quick demonstration, and if we go into dashboard, you can see here, you've got a silly announcement, obviously, but there you go. And I do see some formatting issues, actually. That does catch my eye. I'm going to turn off this. I'm going to set it so this is only 100. And then I'm going to adjust the page to be equal to that. And we're going to see if that's still an issue. We'll add padding if need be in a minute. Okay, let's add padding from the top and the bottom of 10 each. Is it 100 each? That would make no sense. And there you go. So guys, as always, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed watching me build the first segment of the entire community management system. This is going to take a very long time. I'm sure the series is going to take right through February, and it's going to get released in March anyway, so I'm not too worried. I've got time. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like. Keep an eye out for the next episodes. I think the next one's going to be a lot longer than this. Obviously, today's is just like a introduction, but also a bit of fun and play around with how it's going to work kind of ways. So hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.